Hey there, it's Tiffany here, and I am back with another excerpt from a book that I love. This book is Cold Mountain by Charles Frazier. It is a favorite of mine. It was published in the late 90s, and I read it for the first time soon after it was published. And then I think I went back around 10 years later and I read it again. It's one of the few times that I actually have gone back and read a book for pleasure more than once. So that should be kind of a hint as to how wonderful it is. This is another example of a book that is told from the perspective of two narrators, or has two main characters that are driving the story. You have the voice of Inman and the voice of Ada, and they are living parallel lives and kind of moving forward to a point where their paths should converge. So if you like what I have to read, hopefully you'll try to pick it up and give it some attention. This is another one that my daughter loves as much as I do, so it has wide appeal, I guess is my point, to age ranges and to life experiences. It is set in North Carolina, the mountains of North Carolina, towards the latter part of the Civil War. So that's a little bit of an intro. The excerpt I'm going to read today is from about the halfway point in the book, so from page 240. I hope you enjoy it. She carried the dress outside and then wired together a root of bean poles as armature and planted it out in the center of the garden, beating it firm into the dirt with a hand sledge. She topped it with a head made by stuffing the end of a worn-out pillowcase with leaves and straw, and daubing a grinning face on it with paint she stirred up from chimney soot and lamp oil. She put the dress over the poles and fleshed out the bodice with straw and gave the figure the straw hat for millinery. From the end of one arm, she hung a small tin pail with a rust hole in its bottom. She went to the fence row and broke off stems of goldenrod and aster and filled the pail with them. When she was done, Ada backed off and examined her work. The figure stood staring off toward Cold Mountain, as if during a leisurely walk gathering flowers for a table arrangement, she'd been struck momentarily still by the beauty of the scene before her. The full skirts of the lavender dress swayed in the breeze, and all Ada could think was that after a year of weather, it would become bleached to the color of an old shuck. Ada herself wore a fading print dress and a straw bonnet. She wondered if an observer standing off on Jonas Ridge and looking down into the cove would choose right if asked to pick the scarecrow from the two figures standing in the field. So he has such a gift. He has such a gift for description, for making the characters and the places that he writes about come alive, that I think you'll love it if you give it a chance. All right, see you next time.